away from your self-loathing, what would you say is your favourite AEW match moment when you kind of look at the run as of now?
I mean, I don't have any one favorite. I have a series of favorites because this has been the most fun I've had in my career. And so it's like my first match with Kenny, I loved the first two matches I had with Hangman were just like that. I never thought I would do an hour draw again, and the first one that I did with Hangman, I was just like so over the moon happy. And then after that, let's see, then I got hurt. The Garcia matches were fun. Then the Iron Man with MJF was fun. I mean, that's the thing. I don't have like this hierarchy of like it's this, that, this. It's like a bunch of these cool moments that I didn't think I'd ever experience again. You know what I mean? When I didn't think I'd get to be able to wrestle this style that I love so much, you know? And so like I love both matches that I had with Zack Sabre Jr. So I had one in AEW at Wrestle Dream last year, and then I had one in New Japan. I loved, and one of the things I love about AEW is that Tony lets me, and I got to go wrestle in Arena Mexico for the first time and wrestle like my favorite luchador, Blue Panther, in Arena Mexico, in the main event of Arena Mexico. I mean, so there's just all of these cool moments. The Will Ospreay match. Gosh, how could I forget that?
There are loads. There's so many.
There's just loads. Yeah. There's just loads that were so much fun. So
I feel there was one. I feel when Punk came to AEW, I think a lot of people would hope that you guys would work together and get to do a program. And obviously, it didn't work out. Are you kind of sad that didn't work out? That you guys could get to do more together?
Sad isn't the right word. Like, it was something that I thought was going to happen that didn't happen, right? And so it's like it would have been really cool and really fun for me. But it
would have been a nice bow in the kind of he quits, you get to take the thing, and then you guys are together 10 years later.
Yeah.
And then two last questions. There's a big kind of online debate, which I'm sure you're not watching this debate happen, but there's a big debate about storylines versus in-ring wrestling and what is more important, and people are very passionate about both sides of those.
Okay.
What is your opinion?
It's a totality, right? It's a totality of the story. One of the things that I also don't understand is there's in-ring wrestling is storytelling. So it's like, so I mean, it's all like if you go out there and you do a wrestling match and there's no story to it whatsoever, it's garbage, right? But there's different presentations, and that's I don't know. It's so weird. I'm not aware of the discussion that you're talking about, but it would be interesting. It would be interesting for me to read it to see what kind of their arguments are about. Like, because if it's WWE style storytelling, right, versus in-ring storytelling, like what are the pros, cons, whatever it is. I prefer more of like a sports style in-ring style of storytelling, but there's all sorts of different types of storytelling from wrestling all over the world, right? And I think one of the things is WWE kind of having a monopoly on the industry in the United States for so long. People think there's just one type of storytelling, but wrestling's told many different types of stories in many different ways throughout, for decades.
But what's interesting about, your favourite style is in-ring storytelling, right? But you're also really good at the character stuff, the stuff that you maybe did more of in WWE. Mm-hmm. It's interesting that that's maybe not your favourite style, but you are really good at that as well.
Well, so it's interesting when you bring that up. So some of it isn't necessarily storytelling. Some of it is just character development, and more outrageous characters, right? And so yeah, but that was actually something I learned here in the UK, because I would come here, like when I first started wrestling, I was really, really shy. And so it's like, okay, you're telling me I have to go out and pretend to fight in spandex underwear in front of even in front of 100 people. That's horrifying, right? And so it's like, but I would come over, so I was really good at kind of technical wrestling right off the bat, but I had a really hard time with being entertaining. And so I would come over here and I'd do the Butlins tours, and I'd work for Bryan Dixon. I was here for 6 months, 2003, 4 months in 2005, another 3 months in 2008, and that's what allowed me to do some of the more character entertaining style thing in WWE. And you know what? To be honest, I enjoyed it. You know, depending on who the person you're doing it with, right? Like me doing it with Kane was so much fun because we're, you know, two very different personalities that like gelled really well. But you know, like, but yeah, I really, you know, I enjoyed that kind of stuff.